The shift from open field warfare to fighting inside cities forced armies to abandon traditional long-range weapons. Urban combat demanded tools built for narrow streets, basements, and room-to-room violence. Let's begin with the close-quarters firearms. When hallways replaced battlefields, soldiers needed weapons that could fire rapidly in tight spaces. The submachine gun became the primary tool for clearing rooms and suppressing defenders at point-blank range. MP-40, Germany's folding stock submachine gun, allowed paratroopers and street fighters to navigate stairwells without the bulk of a full-length rifle. Its compact design made it ideal for firing from behind cover in rubble-strewn streets. PPSH-41, the Soviet Union's answer, featured a 71-round drum magazine that could saturate doorways and windows with sustained fire. Storm groups in Stalingrad centered their tactics around this weapon's ability to suppress entire rooms. Steenmaki Seku. Britain produced this stamped metal gun for less than $10 per unit, and its side-loading magazine let soldiers fire from narrow slits while lying flat against walls. Polish resistance fighters built their own copies in basement workshops. M1 carbine. America's lightweight rifle bridged the gap between submachine guns and full-power rifles, offering 15 rounds in a package that could penetrate light cover. The folding stock M1A1 variant became essential for house-to-house clearing. Krummlauf, Germany's curved barrel attachment for the STG-44, used a periscope sight to fire around corners from total cover. The 30-degree version lasted only 300 rounds before the barrel failed from heat and pressure, while the 90-degree tank defense version managed just 160 rounds. As firefights moved from streets into buildings themselves, attackers needed ways to break through walls and fortifications. The shaped charge warhead transformed infantry into a force capable of negating masonry defenses. Anti-tank rockets were repurposed to collapse doorways and blow holes between adjacent rooms. M9 Bazooka. The American rocket launcher's 2.36-inch shaped charge round could penetrate 12 inches of masonry, allowing infantry to breach walls without exposing themselves to machine gun fire. Later, 3.5-inch versions defeated 2 feet of concrete. Panzerfaust. Germany's disposable recoilless launcher became ubiquitous in Berlin, where teenagers and elderly militia used it to disable tanks and simultaneously collapse building entrances. Soviet troops often discarded their own anti-tank rifles to capture and use these weapons for wall breaching. PIAT. Britain's spring-powered spigot mortar produced no backblast, making it safe to fire from inside enclosed rooms. Canadian forces in Ortona perfected mouse-holing by using PIATs to blast through interior walls and bypass German machine gun positions in the streets. Steel hand grenade. The German stick grenade's wooden handle provided leverage for throwing into second-story windows and ventilation slits. Engineers bundled 6 grenade heads around a single stick to create demolition charges powerful enough to breach light walls. Sidolówka. Polish resistance fighters manufactured over 300,000 grenades using metal cleaner bottles as shells, producing them in secret workshops throughout Warsaw. The contact detonating Filipinka grenade eliminated the need for timed fuses in dark hallways. When conventional explosives weren't enough to clear fortified basements and tunnel systems, armies turned to thermal weapons that could project force around corners. Flamethrowers and heavy demolition platforms emerged as tools for breaking defensive stalemates. Underground combat and fortified strongpoints demanded weapons that could project heat and pressure into spaces protected from direct fire. M2 flamethrower. The American system used pressurized nitrogen to project napalm-thickened fuel up to 130 feet, with the liquid bouncing off walls to reach around corners. In enclosed spaces, the weapon consumed oxygen and suffocated defenders even without direct flame contact. Flammenwerfer 41, Germany's portable flamethrower, weighed 68 pounds when filled but delivered devastating psychological impact alongside its thermal effects. The visual signature made operators priority targets for enemy snipers. Einstoss Flammenwerfer 46, Germany's single-use flamethrower, weighed under 8 pounds and delivered a 2-second burst up to 90 feet, reflecting the shift toward disposable weapons for militia defense. It required minimal training for last-ditch urban combat. Sturmtiger. Germany mounted a 380-meter rocket mortar on a Tiger I chassis with 150 meters of armor, creating a vehicle that could level entire apartment blocks with a single shot. It was designed to operate in close proximity to enemy infantry while remaining nearly invulnerable. Churchill AVRE. Britain's engineering vehicle fired 40-pound flying dustbin charges from a petard mortar to shatter concrete bunkers and clear rubble-blocked streets. These siege platforms were essential when portable weapons couldn't penetrate fortified positions. Kubuś. Polish resistance fighters built an improvised armored vehicle in 13 days, using a Chevrolet truck chassis and steel plates scavenged from safes. Armed with a machine gun, PIAT and flamethrower, it represented the desperation and ingenuity required when facing better-equipped forces.